Is yours working?
No, I haven't pressed it.
Test. Hi guys, today we're going to be talking about microphones. So this kind of tech stuff is obviously my kind of thing, but CJ has no idea what's going on.
I just some rough idea, but all I need to know is today got new toys.
Yes.
Yep.
So the story of all this is that CJ was wanting some microphones that he could plug into his phone. So what we got is this one. So this is the one that all the...
Hey! You're revealing what I have hidden behind.
It's always got this.
But we were supposed to do an unboxing.
Yes.
Right before we did the other episode, the second episode of the podcast.
Yeah.
But dear me, couldn't make it. And then at home only, I'm just trying to rest. I also kena from the team. Okay, yeah.
Because of this.
Yeah, but yeah, so I was not drinking.
Okay, anyway.
Yep, okay.
So this is a mic that all the content creators like to use, the Rode Wireless Go 2.
Why?
I guess because the price is quite okay. In Singapore, it's about 300 plus. It's 2 channels, so you get 2 mics like what we're using now.
Yep.
You're using one, I'm using one. Then yeah, it's ideal for content creators because they always want to video themselves plus someone else when you're doing an interview or something like that.
It's mobile enough to shift around, even if it's just one piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see a lot of, I think on TikTok, when you're doing some street interview, they have it attached to the other...
Yeah, I got the stick also.
Yeah, the
it's a holder.
Yeah,
don't do that too much.
Yeah, okay, yeah, the stick. Then you just hold it over, right?
I think the stick.
This is actually what I use when I do events, when I try to like the usual mic,
the
right?
stick
Then
mic,
I'll
right?
just point it over to someone else, and usually people get a bit shy.
Yeah.
And then I'll just, why are you not used to a man holding a stick in your face or something? Yeah.
Sometimes if you're a man, you might not be used to it lah.
I guess so.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. So there are a lot of other brands out there. There's the DJI one. Then I also tried the Holyland one. I didn't really like those because...
You tried?
Yeah. I tried those before.
Okay.
But I eventually settled on this. I even have the UHF Sennheiser ones, which are the like more pro ones. But this is more convenient, especially when you're using a small camera like this, right? It just clips onto the side, then it's so small. The other one is
camera is not small. I mean, it's considered a smaller camera, yes, but
it's a small camera.
But imagine like going around. That's why I don't know how you manage to do it. Right? Going around. I mean, this alone, this is not light either.
It's quite light for what it is and what it does.
It's considered lightweight.
It's very, very small for what it is and what it does now.
Okay.
So it comes in a set like this. So I think I need to teach you how to use it lah.
Okay, but to begin with, this comes... Also, the labeling is all done on its own already.
No, I labeled it.
Oh, you...
Because otherwise you wouldn't know which is 1 and 2. A tip that I always do is I label the mics. So at least we know who to pass the mic to. Yeah.
It affects your...
It's easier for editing because cause I'm sitting on this side, so I give myself number 1 and you're number 2. So the channels will be like left and right.
So this...
Yeah, so at least it's easier to split.
Okay. So these two are the microphones itself.
Yes.
Right? And then we have this is the receiver.
Yep.
Okay, so actually, yeah, they really look very similar.
So this is the cable you use to connect to the camera. It's a 3.5 millimeter. So it will connect to the output of the receiver and then it goes into your camera's mic in. Each of the devices has internal recording. So you can press the button and it records to the memory inside. Then when you're back, you just plug it into your computer. It acts like a thumb drive and then you just copy the sound files off.
So I can have like separate audio files.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
cool,
it's also good like a backup. Let's say if you're doing a podcast or something like that day, and we were doing mini mics. So if you're scared of interference issues, right, you can record directly to this, so you have a backup. In case somebody like unplugs their mic or something like that, at least something is still recording onto this.
Okay, hold on. But before, since I didn't manage to take part in the unboxing.
Yeah.
So all these came together.
Okay, no, this is the case.
Yeah.
The 3 things.
Yeah.
Then the cables come with this, but we also bought the Rode Lavalier Go mics. So these are mics that actually are clip-on mics. So you clip them onto your talon and then you plug them in.
So it would go to one of these.
Yeah.
This one I can just put in your pocket.
Yeah.
And then this one can go under the shirt and then onto the collars and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like what I'm using now. You can't see my mic because it's
why you
small.
no chill?
Huh?
Why you use that for yourself then?
I only got one. So we're actually also trying to compare the differences between the different kind of mics that you use. So what I've been using now is a Countryman B6 lavalier mic. So this is quite I would say, high-end mic, I don't know. I've plugged it into the Rode also, so it plugs in just
Very
nice.
good, he kept the high-end mic for himself.
So you can plug whatever 3.5mm mic into this. It supplies power for the mics. So it
But
works.
it came with the, wait, hold on. Came with, I mean, this.
Oh, so this is a locking, if you have not seen the other kinds of mic transmitters, this one is a locking one for the like professional ones. So that if you yank it, it doesn't come out of the socket. Yeah, but this one doesn't need. It's so small. And so this one is quite a cheap lavalier mic. So I think it goes for about 60 bucks or some 60 to 100 bucks. Yeah, so this one improves the sound quality a lot as compared to using the internal mic over here. So you can try the difference now. So you've been hearing CJ on the internal mic of the Wireless Go 2. So we're going to plug this in.
So again, test 1 2, test 1 2.
Yeah, so we're going to plug it in and then we're going to show him how to mic up a talent. Okay? So you can just plug it in. So once you plug it in, yeah, you just plug in all the way. Make sure it's secure, and then once you plug it in, the mic on this is disabled.
Wait, what?
The microphone here is disabled.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so you can only talk through this one. So how you would mic up a talent is that you would want to go under the shirt and then clip it to, it depends on how and where you're talking. Ideally, if you can, you would clip this around here, about chest middle somewhere. But then you can't really clip it here nicely. So usually we just go for the collar. Then also it depends where your talent is sitting. So if they are sitting and turning to the left or right, so you want to just go for the side that they are facing the most. So you try.
So just now when whatever is happening, basically we had two input.
Yeah.
Two of your voice was input into two sources.
Yeah.
Your own mic and this mic.
Yep.
Okay. So now I put it on.
Yeah, put it
Okay.
on.
Like, okay, so you see when I clip it here, then it points elsewhere.
Okay, so you can actually just turn the clip. You don't have to clip it straight on. You can clip it like to the side, sideways like this.
I realize
Something like this.
when you are doing the adjustment, when I try to look down,
Yeah.
my double chin is in the way.
So you can clip it sideways like that. Something like that.
Can we just refer to the footage to see what has been done?
So the mics are omnidirectional, so that means it picks up audio evenly from all directions. So it doesn't really matter which direction you point it so much. It matters a little bit, but not so much. Just try to avoid the mic touching the skin, because when they move, then it will make a lot of noise. So you just clip it like that. But we're seated down, so it shouldn't be any issue lah.
So actually what would be a good idea is to have maybe like an outer shirt or something so they can just clip it.
Yeah, so ideally this one is clipped like onto a tie or something, or like a shirt with buttons, then you can just slot it in. Then that would be a good position around here. So if you do not want to see this, you can also tape the microphone to your chest or your shirt.
Okay.
Yeah, so that will be totally hidden lah. This is the way to mic up your talent. You can put it to the side if you want, but if you put it to the side, the challenge is if the talent turns their head to the other way, then it won't pick up so nicely. So you just put it wherever you feel your talent's gonna face most of the time. Yeah, so middle is more or less okay, because you're not like facing here, then facing, I mean, you're always. So this would be a good upgrade for your Wireless Go 2. I would definitely use this if given the choice. But sometimes we're always lazy, so we just clip the whole thing directly. Like if we're out, right, and you want to pass this to someone to interview, it'll be easier to just clip the whole thing directly onto the person you're interviewing.
Yeah.
Okay, so one interesting thing that I bought, I have it here, is that there's a magnetic clip that you can buy. So then you can magnet hold it there. So this is another way to hold it there.
Oh, the new camera from Insta360 also has something like that.
You can buy this magnet clip. It's sold separately for the Wireless Go 2, which I really like a lot.
But actually, I mean, with the lavalier mic, this is not.
You don't really need it, yeah. So ideally, I still want to use the lavalier mic. And then when you're indoors, you can also take off the pop shield. So this foam thing is called a pop shield. So
It's not a condom.
No, it's a piece of foam.
Okay.
So this thing stops the plosives from coming through. So the P things.
Yeah.
So if your talent likes to do that kind of speech, then you should put it on.
So like for singers as well as for even for public speaking and stuff, usually our P and our S, we would have to try to make it sound
but this
slightly
should be
different.
alright if you place it here because you're not like facing down and talking straight into the mic. So you shouldn't get it because you're talking away from it.
Test.
I don't think there'll be much of a difference. It should sound better without the foam also.
Okay, give me a word that starts with P. Explosive. Probably wouldn't sound too different.
And also the benefit for this is when you're outdoors, it blocks off the wind.
So I don't need the hairy thing.
It's not as good as the hairy thing, but it blocks off some wind.
Okay.
So when you're outdoors, you can use the foam to block off some wind.
Especially sometimes when we're using the internal microphone of certain cameras.
Yeah.
When there's wind, it really affects the whole.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so another thing that came with this set, right, is the furry windshield.
Back when a time when I was still botak, I would have appreciated this.
So this fits onto the internal mic, so you just put it on, then just twist it on, then it stays. So this is really good when you're outdoors to block the wind.
For some reason, this reminds me of Mr. Tharman's icon for his presidential election. Pineapple.
It's not pineapple. So far in a lot of environments, I haven't had any issues with them dropping out or cutting off.
I mean, from a kind of like a talent point of view, after using it, never has it. I never had to worry about it dropping or stuff. Yeah.
Not dropping out, but the sound dropping out. That means the sound cuts off.
Oh yeah, it never happened.
Audio dropouts and stuff like that. Hardly it will happen if you're in a super congested RF area. So that means because this is running off like the 2.4 Wi-Fi signal band.
Okay.
So if you have a super congested network, like many like Wi-Fi devices or many people using this kind of mics, right? You may experience some audio dropouts.
So that means someday if we get so big and then we go for media launches, everyone using the Rode 2 mics, the Rode Wireless Go 2.
So that day we were using like 4 of these for the podcast. There were times when there were a little bit of blips in the audio.
Okay.
So it's not 100% foolproof, but so far this system is working quite well. Yeah, and
have you figured out any way to work around that though?
You can't really work around it because you can't set anything.
Yeah.
You can't choose the channel, you can't set the power, you can't do anything. So, I mean, it's dead like that, but it's easy to use. And I guess that was what the manufacturer intended. Yeah, why I like these over all the other brands out there is that the noise floor of this is very low. Noise floor meaning the hiss sound. So when you plug in certain things, right, if you have a good enough system or you turn up the volume a lot, you can hear this like waterfall kind of sound, a hiss kind of sound. It's like a noise. Yeah, so these ones are really quiet compared to the other brands, especially like the DJI and the other one, the Holyland one I tried. So this means also you will have greater dynamic range, which would mean that you can pick up softer sounds and louder sounds also.
So you can do ASMR with this?
Yes.
Can.
So you can talk softly and then you can bring up the volume in post and it doesn't sound like a mess. Whereas if the noise floor is very low, very high, right? There's a lot of background noise. So when you talk softly and you bring up that noise, you amplify that noise too. So it will sound very nasty.
So it's able to capture a wider range of the volume and stuff. Something
in
like
a way, because the mic itself is quieter, so it can capture the quieter sounds. Because if your mic is noisier than the sound you're trying to capture, right, then you can't capture it.
Okay.
You just capture noise. So this is something that a lot of people do not talk about, but I feel that it's quite important. So I've done some testing, and it's really a lot quieter than the others.
Testing, like what do you do? What do you do to test it out? Going to different environments.
I mean, I plug it into the camera and then with the same settings, then I compare it in the computer to see how much noise is there when you like turn up the volume in the computer, basically.
So what happened to all the other microphones that you have gotten that you find not as good as the Rode Wireless Go 2?
They have new happy owners who are very satisfied with them.
Okay.
They have other features also that are not like this. They both have the charging case, so people might appreciate that. But for me, I rather the sound quality above all else.
Okay.
So I rather choose this, even though it's a bit more inconvenient. I have to like plug everything in to charge. And it's quite ugly, it's quite big, and then there's this garish road thing here. So okay, so any questions on how you were gonna use this?
I think maybe not yet, but it's more of like,
I mean, it's foolproof, it's the easiest system to use. Yeah, and also it has one more feature where you can decrease the sensitivity of the mic. So that means if the person talks really loudly, right, there's a function inside, it's called a pad. You can reduce the sensitivity of the mic so it doesn't distort.
But I have to tweak it on the microphone?
There's an app you can use, you can plug it into your phone.
Okay.
Or you can press the buttons here to activate the mode.
Okay. So again, this is the receiver with the little screen on top lah.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you're totally new to the game of audio, you wouldn't go wrong with this. As of the production of this video, today Rode just announced a Wireless Pro. So it's a little bit more expensive. It has 32-bit float recording into the device, meaning that it can record an even bigger volume range of very soft and very loud. So you will never distort your audio. You don't have to set any volume.
Okay.
You can shout into the mic, you can whisper, you can bring it back up.
Okay.
In the computer, it will be fine. But this one, there's a limitation because it's not 32-bit. So it records in a smaller range.
Okay.
But it's more than enough for normal usage. I guess you wouldn't be using this on a movie set.
Okay, so these have been charged.
Yes, they've been charged.
So if let's say, okay, if typically I plug in the lavalier mic, right, I mic myself up, I mic my guests up, then what would be the next step? This one will go to the camera.
Yes.
Right.
So if you have a camera, you can just clip it on the side of the camera like this. So it's the hot shoe of the camera, but I have a hot shoe here. So it just clips on here, and then you just connect it in. So there'll be a microphone port in your camera. Then you just connect it.
Okay, so I mean I still have to turn it on.
Yeah, obviously you have to turn it on.
But then, so the other two buttons over here, what do they... So anyway, for the microphone, it's very easy because there's only one button to press.
Yeah.
So just press and hold to turn it on, that's all. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to do a dual cam thing. So you can see here, right? This is the display. So you can see that there is number 1, number 2, and then there's a 12. So
the number 1, number 2 would obviously show the mic 1, mic 2, alright? Then the 12, it will be the volume, the 12 decibel.
Yeah, the minus 12 dB means the output level of the output of this receiver. Because when you connect it to the camera, right, you want to make this as loud as possible and your camera input volume as low as possible. Because the camera
make this as loud as possible while the camera input
is as low as possible.
Okay.
Because the camera's preamps, the amplifiers inside here, are not as good usually.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends what camera you use. If you're using my main camera, then it doesn't matter because that one's good. Okay. This one is not so good.
Given my processing power, I probably need some time for it to sink in. So if let's say like today I have gotten a camera where I could do all of this.
Yeah.
But my noob brain is not like I've not caught up with the technicalities yet. Would you advise for me to record the audio separately and not have it connected?
No. 2 reasons. Okay, first reason is because when you plug this, there's an app for the computer and the phone. When you plug this in, right, there is a gain assist thing, which is this thing. There's a function where you can tell the software what camera you're using, right? Then it will like automatically adjust this volume for you. And it will tell you what setting to adjust your camera to also.
Okay.
So that is the guideline from the manufacturer for the correct, the optimal setting for the volume. So if you're confused about this gain setting, the dB setting on the receiver, right, you can refer to that assistant thing that it will tell you what is the optimal level.
So it has taken care of noobs like myself.
Yes. And also the added benefit, second reason why you should record to the camera instead of recording to this, is that it's much easier to edit the video. Because the audio will be synced with the video already.
So then you have to go and clap, then try to find the timeline and the volume and stuff.
It does it automatically, but that's an extra step now. But yeah, that's why I love to record straight to the camera if possible. You can see the level go, right? So you do not want the level to ever go to red color, because when it goes to red color, right, you are distorting the audio already, so it will sound very nasty.
So what would be a good range?
So for normal speaking, right, ideally it should fall just at where it's becoming yellow. So the additional yellow is for you to get some headroom if you talk loudly, or if you say something a bit louder than
you
normal.
laugh and you
So it doesn't distort.
Yeah.
So setting the dB here does not adjust how loud the signal gets. That one you gotta change the gain of this, which you can for this one. You press this, to select the microphone, right? Then you hold down this one. Then you can see there'll be a blue arrow that comes down. So when there's a blue arrow, right, is padding the signal, means that it makes it softer.
Yeah, the movement of the bar is a bit shorter now.
Yeah, so you can disable it. You can go back to this one, then you press this and hold. So now it's more sensitive again.
Oh, so this
Yeah.
Okay.
But you lose a bit of dynamic range if you use the pad function.
If only my wife can be tuned like that.
Your wife mute.
Maybe not just my wife, but
So next time we mute CJ also. Yeah, so it has quite a lot of functions, as I've explained to you.
Yep.
If you're a beginner, you may not need to mess with everything. But as you get more advanced and your conditions are more tricky when recording, then the settings are there to help you get good recordings in every situation. In 2023, there are no new products yet for mics except the new Wireless Pro that just came out. But I think that the Wireless Go 2 is still a very, very good option. Even now, since this has been around for a couple of years, they update the firmware like regularly. They give you a bit of new features if they can. So I think it's still relevant. And if you're just doing YouTube or making short form content, right? Basically, if you're not making a movie, I guess this is sufficient.
So I guess this really goes out to a lot of other creators and anyone who's aspiring to be to just create any content, video form. This would definitely help. Okay, so now here comes the most important thing.
Yes.
What is our promo code for everyone?
No promo code.
We don't
So we need you to like, subscribe, right? So we can get enough subs. Then we can do like some Amazon affiliate links or something like that.
Then we can bring all the goodies to you guys and we can all enjoy some savings. I help you, you help me.
Yeah. So anyway, it doesn't cost you anything to like.
Yeah.
Just
So
click.
now go. What are you waiting for? Thank you very much for doing so. Thank you very much.
So anyway, today we just talked a bit about this mics for basic content creation and why we like the Rode Wireless 2.
Why you like it and why I will like it as well.
And why you should use it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's why I like it and why you should use it. If you don't like it, leave us a comment. Let me know why you don't like it. Maybe I can help you with it. I don't know. Maybe you can convince me to buy something else.
Or even recommend us some other microphones as well.
Yeah, but in terms of ease of use, especially for CJ as a total newbie to this, I think it's reliable and doesn't go wrong. So that's all for today's episode on mics. We're gonna do another one. As you can see, I also bought this one. So this is quite interesting mic. I don't think many people have reviewed this yet. So we will see on the next episode, which we're gonna film now.
Like and subscribe.
Bye bye.